Okay, we're looking at the D shape to see which one of these shapes of the tri-pentatonic best describes this chord here, right here, this particular chord. Not the C minor. That's to the purple. That's for the purple ones because it involves a substitution. This we should be able to do by inspection. I'm sure it's extremely easy. So we got root 3, 5. The D4 shape. Okay, let's play our root 3, 5 there again. Okay, the D4 shape goes. It doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound like it's right on target. Although with the D shape, we have the 6 hits the R, and then the 2 is also involved in the D, and this note would be the 4. Okay, it's not drawn in here because it's not. The 4 is not part of the Ionian. The Ionian triad is that. Here's the 4 triad. Okay, so that could be a hint. I think it's the one that says root because we're doing the root. So A is probably it, and I don't think we have to play the. We can look at on the chart the E shape, which would be the 5th. Remember, E, the root. The relative root of the E chord is in the middle of its little chord there. All right, so you got an E-shaped 5. We're not even showing that. That's strange. Let me see a second. All right, the 3rd of that 5th, which would be your E shape, 2, 5, and over here would be a 7. Would be the B. It's not shown, so it's certainly not the E shape. So it's pretty much the one that contains the R. All right, so that's good. All right, let's click off the drawing tool. Let's look at another chord. All right, I'll zoom in even more, make it easier. So now we're going to start the arpeggio, the Ionian arpeggio from the 5th. So we go 5 straight up to the root. Okay. So from the 5th now, I'm going to have to remove the capo. You may not be able to do this at home. Okay, then to the 5th, a minor. All right, now we want to go straight up from the 5th to the root, but the warp takes us over, and look what it made. A D shape. Okay, that's where your D shape comes from. So what chord would play, what pentatonic shape would play that D shape? Let's see who's encompassing that chord, right? It's incorporated. It's encompassed by. But remember, we want to get as much as our arpeggio as we can. So since the whole arpeggio is here, I think we're going to call it this one. Right? We're going to call it this one because we've got most of our arpeggio there. But we could consider this D as also part of this one. All right, this is the 2nd inversion root chord. All right, so it says right here there's a C-shaped R here. Where's that C-shaped R? Right there. That is our C-shaped root chord. Okay, and that also brings us up into, and you never know these things about C. You sit there and you play a C chord. When I was learning guitar, you play a C chord. I'm not paying attention to the notes that are being hit by the capo or the fret nut. All right, so there's a C chord, the C arpeggio. the open G, and then the C up there, and then all you have to do is press the C and you get, so it's kind of in that cage, but it's close. You know, it's saying it's a C shape, but guess what? Look at, you know, talk about familiar. Talk about familiar. Let's see what we got here. All right, so with the D shape, with this particular tri-pentatonic box, so we all know what this chord is. All right, it's a D chord. Okay, it's our friendly neighborhood D, right there. It's a pretty easy chord. It's one of the cage major chords, right? But that's the D. This is a C-shaped D, which would be one down, top 3 strings. All right. Now, when I first started playing guitar, if I played that note, I was like, hey, I'm sinking in quick mud here. I've run out of chords. But so this would consider in this particular box. Now, in your guitar, to play that, you'd have to be way up here. You'd be in this D box. Okay? So we could pretty much do the Ionian by inspection, and the same goes for the other major ones. The Lydian, we can do it by inspection. If we're looking at a Lydian, now Lydian is 4/6R, right? So we have to move along. So I'm going to just jump along with the majors here. 4/6R. So you know, we've got C, D, E, F. All right. The 6 would start here. Let's say we take that up to the root, 4, 6. Now we've got this 6R4. All right. This is obviously a first inversion Lydian. All right. So they're good for, like, you know, ragtime. So there it was. Where was it? All right, so it was 6R4 right there. Okay, so we could take it up into the, you know, you can look at this and you can see, okay, it's a major chord. There's a minor third there, so that's first inversion. This is definitely the first inversion shape. Here's first inversion major. Here's first inversion. You got the 3, the 5th, and the R right there. Okay? And when I go over here to this one, right here, 6R4, 6 is the third of the Lydian. Okay? R is the 5th, and the 4th is root. So it's 3, 5, root, just like what we had up there. So keep the numbers in the mode. That's what I say. So when I think 6, I'm thinking A minor. I look at 5, I'm thinking G, or the 5th of whatever key you're in. All right. So we want to find out what cage does this belong to? What, you know, by inspection, it should be by inspection. It looks like it's smack in the middle of this one. All right. So we're right in the middle of the A, D, E. And remember, these are shapes. These are cage shapes. All right. So it's the cage shape of A, where in the little A box up here, R is the root. The cage shape of D, where you go 5, 6, you know, you go like this with the D. You do an S2L, an S3S here, right? Okay, starting on a 5, 6 there. See, D-shaped. Okay. That's interesting, you know. Hang on. Okay, I stunted myself. Being that we're you know,